Hello and welcome to Lines and Angles with Miss Kesley. And today we are going to start with parallel lines. So what is a parallel line really? Well, let's think about what does an equal sign look like? Let's draw an equal sign real quick. So that's an equal sign. So there's two lines directly apart from each other. A parallel line is a set of lines that will continue on forever in either direction and never touch each other. So let's try to extend these real quick. So I'm going to use my trusty protractor to extend my lines and make sure that they don't touch. And look at that. They don't touch. So this is a little bit off, but these would be going on forever in either direction, and they would never ever touch, and they would stay the same distance apart. Same distance. Now you try to draw some parallel lines. Alrighty, so I really hope you didn't draw any that looked like this. Those are not parallel lines. Do you know why? Because they'll touch, that's right. So when we extend our lines with our trusty protractor, we see these lines are going to touch. And what is this form? What is this right here? That is an angle. So when two lines do touch, they form angles. Now there are many, many types of angles, and we are going to cover those soon. But first, let's go over a perpendicular lines real quick, because this does form another kind of angle. So perpendicular lines is kind of like a plus sign without a bottom. So we're going to have lines like this. So this is what most of your perpendicular lines will look like. And this is a right angle on either side. And a right angle looks like a box because all of our squares have angles that are right angles. So if I trace this real quick, it is a right angle every time. That means it's 90 degrees. So when we measure this with our protractor, we put the middle part on the line and we hook it up and we move it, and look, that is 90 degrees. Now this one's a little worn out, so you can't really see it, but it does say 90 degrees. Let's try it again with another one. This is an angle measuring tool. So we want to start it off. So we have it at 0 and 90, and we put our ruler up, and it is indeed a 90-degree angle. So that's how you know when your lines are perpendicular, because they come to a point where there are 90 degrees. But what happens when you have an angle similar to this that is not 90 degrees? Because this is a 90-degree angle, and this is less than that. Because when we see, so our 90-degree angle looked like this, and when we hook it up and we go to the point in the base, this one only measures 15 degrees, and we'll get to measuring angles in the next lesson. But right now we are starting off with our main types of angles. So this one is less than 90 degrees, so this is considered an acute angle. Let me spell that for you. This is an acute angle. So I remember this because, you know, when we have really small things like puppies and kittens, and they're so small and tiny, they are very, very cute. So when we have angles that are smaller than 90 degrees, they are a cute angle. And that's how I remember that. So let's look at some, and we also have another type of angle as well. So this is our acute, and this is our right angle. Let's draw a right. And that's just like you're right or wrong. It is a right angle. So we also have something called an obtuse angle. And that is an angle that is more than 90 degrees. So this is our baseline right here. An obtuse angle, this is much larger than 90 degrees. So if we are going to measure it with our trusty protractor, we hook it up to the bottom. And this one just happens to be about 133 degrees. So 133 degrees is what we have. And when we are comparing it to 90 degrees, the 130 is larger. Therefore, this is an obtuse angle. And I like to say obtuse like I'm a big giant. And obtuse means larger than 90 degrees. We also have another angle. So if we were to use our protractor, it would look like this. It'd be just a straight angle. So let's draw that one. Let's try blue. So there's straight across like this. Whoop. That is a straight angle. You know how many degrees are? So this is a challenge question. How many degrees are on a straight angle? And I'll give you a hint. If our right angle is 90 degrees, and this is half, how much is a whole? You're right, that is 180 degrees. Very good, class. So now let's look at some shapes real quick. So this is what shape, class? A trapezoid, that's right. And I see two different kinds of angles right here. So I'm going to trace them for you. I see this one right here and this one right here. And we can use our trusty protractor to extend those lines. Let's extend them real quick on our trapezoid. Alrighty, so we have two different kinds of angles here, class. Let's do them in different colors. Let's do a pink and a blue. So we have this angle right here, and we also have this angle right here. So, and I know when I drew the ones before, how I showed the line on the bottom here, well, we don't always have to have a line going straight across to begin with and then measuring up. Our lines can be in any place. So I could have an angle that looks like this, an angle that looks like that. They can be in any direction, and they are still an angle. Alrighty, so these are in different directions right now. And so let's use our protractor and measure them real quick so we can see if they're, well, we can use our square to start with. So we have our square here, and we know the corners of a square are always 90 degrees. So let's use green and see our 90. So we're gonna we're gonna measure it with the bottom. So our bottom line stays the same here. We're gonna go straight up and down. So I see here that my 90 degrees is right here in this green, but my magenta color is on the inside of that. Therefore, this is an acute angle because the angle is less than 90. So the angle is in this space right here. And we see that all of this right here is leftover space. That's not part of our acute angle from our trapezoid. Therefore, it is an acute angle. Now let's look at our obtuse angle compared to our square. Let's draw our lines for our square real quick. Well, I see that our right angle is right here in the green, but our angle actually covers everything in the square plus a little bit more. Do you see that, class? Therefore, this one up here is an obtuse angle. All right, so in our trapezoid, The ones here on the bottom are acute angles because they are less than 90 degrees. And the ones up here on top of our angle are the same angle as well. And they are both going to be obtuse angles because they are more than 90 degrees. Let's look at another shape and see what happens. So next we have our blue rhombus. So some people call it a diamond, but these are different types of rhombuses. We have the tan and the blue. We're going to look at the blue right now though. So let's start with tracing. So I see two different kinds of angles. We have the top and bottom ones that are the same angle, and we have our two other sides that are the same angle. I'm going to choose to trace this one here and the top one here. So let's draw our first one. So there's the one on the side. I'm going to move this over so we have a little bit more room. Let's draw our top angle. All right, there we are. Oops. There. So now I'm going to use my trusty protractor, which we use to measure angles. And we are going to extend those lines again, aren't we? Here we are, extending our lines. All right, now I'm just gonna see if you can still see me. Alrighty. So we have extended our lines now. And now let's compare them to our square. So let's put our trusty square, and we can just choose a line. So we can either do it from this top line or our bottom line. I'm gonna do it from the top line now, just to make it a little bit different. And I'm going to do it in our blue color. I do love blue. Let's do this and this. Whoops. So our line here is going to extend down our square, and it is the same line here. So this is our right angle in blue here, like that. But the pink angle that we drew first is smaller than that because our pink angle is right here. So since this is less than 90 degrees, because remember our square is 90 degrees, this is an acute angle. All right, now I want you to try this one on your own. Alrighty, class, let's look at this with our square. So let's measure our square up, put our line down, and look at that. This is our 90-degree angle right here. Put our box. And I see there is more space in the angle than there is in the right angle. Therefore, this is an obtuse angle. Alrighty. And now on your own, I would like you to try the hexagon, the triangle, and the rhombus. And let me know what angles are obtuse and what angles are acute. And remember, our acute angles are those that are less than 90 degrees. They can look anything between here and here. Those are all acute angles. And our right angle goes straight up and down. Remember, that's the one that is our square. Put our square in there just like that. And our obtuse angles are the ones that are bigger than everything else, just like that. Now you try.